Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, Ash. How are you this
Welcome.
week?
I am very, very good. How are you?
Yeah, good. Good. Feeling good. Looking forward to the weekend.
Good. So, what are we going to talk about today in this episode?
So, today it's slightly different. I want to talk about energy efficiency in your home.
Okay, I thought I was going to add more to that. Nice. That's exciting. Okay,
Over to you.
over to me. Now I'll do the rest. So, energy efficiency in your home. So, elaborate on that a little bit for us. So, what do you mean by energy efficiency in your home? Because I'm sure people listening to this,
Yeah,
watching this, will be like, "Cool, exactly what I just. What do you mean?"
absolutely. So, at the moment, there is a big drive in the financial industry with energy efficiency. There's lenders who are offering green products now for energy efficient properties, which do tend to be new builds, energy efficiency rating B or above. Um, and there's a lot of regulation and legislation in the buy-to-let market at the moment in terms of energy efficiency, making sure the property is a good standard for tenants. And I do wonder whether that legislation will actually filter through more into the residential market in the future. So I know that all costs are rising, and I know that a lot of people are struggling with that. But the flip side of that is if you do have money to invest, and if you are thinking about increasing the value of your home or extending, I think if you're going to invest in something right now, it's a good time to be investing in making your home more energy efficient.
And what type of things do you see with some criteria and stuff? So, with energy efficient, what are some of those changes that people typically do? Obviously, I'm sure every house is different, has different things, but what is the kind of typical changes that people can look at doing?
Sometimes from my experience, it can be quite simple things. It can just be making sure you've got the correct insulation in your loft. That can make such a huge difference. It can be solar panels, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that. Just making sure you have the right insulation can actually make a difference. I know on the energy efficiency certificates that you must have when you're selling your property, it does say to you at the bottom of them, here's some recommendations for you. And, it can give you some average cost. So you can find that actually for maybe £500, you could actually improve your home quite substantially, and that can make quite a difference to your bills as well.
Right.
I think we all know we don't want to be in this position again where we're feeling that everything's rising. And if we can do anything now to try and make that easier for us in the future, if you're in the position to do so, I think it's a good time to be thinking about this.
It's a smart idea as well, looking at the EPC, the Energy Performance Certificate, because as you say, they've always got those recommendations. I've forgot about that, and yet
Mhm.
very rarely do people ever actually action them. So if you bought your house, say you bought it a couple of years ago, go back and have a look at what those recommendations were potentially, because they are good. I mean, sometimes obviously it can be quite expensive, but as you're saying with this, if you're not struggling, so to speak, with money, but you've got some spare cash that you can invest,
Yeah.
that makes more sense. And so with these green products, is this something you're seeing more and more of? Is that like because I remember I've heard of them being thrown around a lot. I can't remember them being very big when I was an advisor really at all. But I've heard the term green product has been thrown around
Yeah.
a
I mean,
while
I
ago. Yeah.
I certainly haven't seen it in the past. It's more the last year or so, really, that it's become a lot more popular in the market. And these products do tend to be at the top of our sourcing list. We are seeing them quite a lot. And I've had clients come to me saying, "Oh, I found this product online. Can I have this?" I'm like, "No, it's a green product." So they are looking very favourable to clients. And it could be that the interest rate's slightly better. It could be that you get a cashback as well. So, you might get £500 cash back from the lender on completion. Now, when you're already spending your legal fees and everything else you need to spend when you're buying a house, that £500 is helpful to have. And also, you're moving into a property where your bills are going to hopefully be less. we are being rewarded by lenders at the moment to make sure our properties are more energy efficient. And like I mentioned, in the buy-to-let market, if your property is less than energy efficiency F, some lenders are finding that to be unmortgageable, that they won't accept that application. It could be that in the future, this does move into the residential market. This kind of legislation could actually affect all of us.
Yeah.
So it's like, right, okay, well, if there's money to spare now, what could we do to try and invest in our homes so that in the future, maybe we'd get a more preferential mortgage rate, and also our bills could hopefully be less in the future and we're not going through all this again.
It makes sense. I can imagine lenders would be looking at that in some capacity, would be looking at it thinking, if it is if the energy is on a more sustainable and cheaper, then there's less risk of something like we're having right now with an energy crisis causing as much damage as it could to the individual households. There's less risk to the lender in some cases because they could potentially pay their bills more.
Exactly.
There is, you can see where the thought process comes, plus from a PR point of view, and
yes,
it's good as well. So I think it's a really good idea. Really, I'm going to go back and find my EPC now.
I know. You see, it's been worth talking to me today, Ash.
Yeah. See, my house is much older. You got a new build, so yours is all fancy and dumb. Mine's like 30 years old. That's probably got loads of things needs changing.
I know. We're still debating whether the heating should be on or not, though. Thankfully, I usually win because I sneak it on.
Love it. My heating's been on way ages ago.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Any parting words on this episode before we end it?
Check your energy performance certificate. Most households should have one. Check it. See if there's anything on there that's a reasonable cost that you can invest and try and make your home a little bit more energy efficient.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.